He was the 5-year-old boy who was first seen in 1938 at Johns Hopkins and by a child psychiatrist who looked at Donald, and then after that 10 other children, and that child psychiatrist is the one who said, there's something here that hasn't been really recognized before, and it's called autism. He called it autism. And that's number one amazing thing about Donald Triplett, is that he is listed as case number 1. He's like case 1.
First person ever born with autism.
And the second amazing thing about Donald Triplett is that he's still alive, and he's 82 years old. He lives in a little town in Mississippi called Forest, and he's kind of our friend. I mean, we've spent a lot of time with him. We've been down to Forest a bunch of times. We're speaking to you from New York City, and amazingly enough, Donald got on a plane a couple of months back, and he wanted to visit New York, and he flew up to New York and checked himself into a hotel and gave us a call and said, I'm in town, let's hang out a little bit. Archie Casto was around the year 1915, as a 5-year-old boy diagnosed as insane, and he was put in an institution in West Virginia.
Once you went in, you never came out. You really didn't.
The happy ending, though, in Archie's story is that in the 1980s approximately, his younger sister, who had been told when he was a little boy never to speak of him again and to let him be the family secret, well, she didn't want to do that anymore, and she found out where he was. She didn't know how to drive, so she learned how to drive and got to the institution where he was and tried to build a relationship again with Archie. And then one day, his sister read an article about autism, and she brought in an expert to the institution, and they diagnosed Archie as having had autism all these years, from even before the time it was recognized. And after that, he was released from the institution and allowed to live in a small private house. They should not be seen as broken humans, but that they should be seen as a different way of being human, fully human, just not the usual way. And
accepted for being different.
And accepted for being different. And it's something that a lot of parents have fought for over the years, is that acceptance. We believe in that acceptance. But where neurodiversity turns into a kind of political argument is that some of those who advocate the neurodiversity point of view also take the argument to the point that, well, if having autism is just another way of being human, then there should be no real efforts made to cure autism.
And that's where the line gets really fuzzy, because there are people, on the autism spectrum who can't speak. They don't have a voice for themselves. And they need other people to speak for them. The adults with autism were in institutions. They weren't out and about. They didn't have lives. So nobody figured out what they could do or couldn't do, or where they could live, because they didn't need to. And now we need that. We never had that before.